Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to my second video for scrapbookingstore.com. I am on their design team. I am new this month and this is my second layout for them. I am working with the November 2019 kit. This is made up of a collection kit from Echo Park Paper from 2018 called Celebrate Autumn. I'm also going to be working with their embellishment kit, which is made up of a bunch of fun different things. There is a link below in the description box to the unboxing I did of this kit. It is still available. And if you have any interest in joining, there also in the description box below is my affiliate link. So if you would like to sign up for the kit, you may do so through there. I get a little commission, but it costs you the same. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, put you guys on fast forward and get started. Before I do, I will just ask if you could flick me a thumbs up. That would be super awesome. And if you have any questions, all of the links to scrapbookingstore.com, including their blog and their Facebook page and their website, as I said, are in the description box below. So let's get going. All right, so today I actually have a double page layout for you. If you watched the Facebook Live I did back on November 20th, I would have talked about how I've already completed a double page layout using this kit. This is that layout. I filmed it back at the beginning of the month, but I'm having it, the video is coming out now just due to the way things worked out, being able to do a voiceover and everything. So I am using two pieces of cardstock. It is basil cardstock in the color Twig, and I'm also going to be using several pieces of the pattern paper from the Celebrate Autumn collection kit. Now, I was really inspired to use this one piece of paper. I had used a bit of it. It's called Autumn Floral. I had used a bit of it while making the cards I'd made for the Kit Club. I don't film my cards. They are available to see both on my Instagram, which I will put in the description box below, along with Scrapbooking Store's Instagram, and I believe also on their blog. Now, I want to cut this paper at a diagonal. Unfortunately, my trimmer will not let me do that. I am using two rulers. So what I do is I have one ruler starting at the top, and then I line that up with the other ruler from the other side, which hits the corner in the bottom. I wasn't 100% good with this. Normally I would use a more rigid ruler. Unfortunately, I had broken my T-square ruler and I haven't had a chance to replace it yet. So it's fine. It's not 100% perfect, but it is good enough for me. No one's going to be looking at the fact that I made a mistake and the bottom quarter inch of the corner. Um, so I'm good with it. So my whole plan was based on wanting to use this paper. It was my favorite out of the entire collection, and I wanted to use as much of it as I could. As I said, I did use a part of it in a card, but I wanted to use it for a layout. So my idea here is I want to create a horizontal band across the center. That's one of my favorite things to do on a double page layout. And then I realized the other side had the 4x4 elements, and I wasn't sure if I was going to want to use those or not. So I just made sure I left at least one row of the 4x4s available. Now I'm using the squares in my mat to try to line this up. I'm a little bit off by about one side of, like, the left side is about 1/8 of an inch bigger than the right hand side page. And once again, I'm totally okay with that. I highly doubt anyone except me will ever notice that there's an error. Um, It's one of the things I say, we notice our mistakes 100 times more than anybody else does. My best friend is a knitter and she makes me things and she'll say, "Oh, I messed up on that little piece right over there." And I will literally not be able to see what she is talking about. I'm like, I don't see an error at all. We are always our own worst critic. So, if it's not 100% perfect, you just keep going. You just, you know what? It's not perfect, but that's what makes it handmade, and no one is perfect, and nothing is perfect, so everything is awesome. The two pieces I'm using here are colorful leaves and 4x4 journaling cards. I know you can't actually read those. They are too pixelated to see. It's more to remind me to say the names out loud, just so I know, in case you wanted to know which papers those are the papers I'm using. So I've got these lined up again. Now this mat that I'm using is actually a quilter's mat. That's why all of those markings are there. If you don't have that, you can obviously just use a ruler if it's important to you. I'm not a huge measurer, but I was just trying to see to have the left hand side and the right hand side be pretty close. Now I had done them as 12 inches across, but actually wasn't 100% sure as to whether I wanted those to go under the floral pieces in the corner or over the floral piece in the corner. It was one of those things I just wanted to look at before I actually glued anything down. Once I did look at them, I realized I did want those to be underneath. So all I did was I laid some ATG glue on the upper outside and then the left and the right outside and then the bottom outside and left the pocket on the inside open, and then I just tucked the two horizontal pieces underneath. And that way I could line them up one over each other and then just use my trimmer to go ahead and trim off the overhang where I had tucked it underneath the pocket. And of course, that took a couple of tries because I was impatient and I cut it too quickly, which then, of course, made it cut not straight. So once I have both of those done, I'm going to line them back up, and I am going to apologize because when I go to line them back up now, I put them too far to the left and it cuts off the like very outer left edge of my layout. So I really do apologize for that. It was just one of those things. I knew at the beginning it needed to be over on that line over on the right, and then I got started and totally forgot. Now, I do want to mat this photo right here of my nephew with his grandmother. Even though their backs are turned, it's the main action shot of this layout, and it's what this layout is about in action. So I wanted to have it matted. Now, I liked this plaid here with the dark brown, and sorry, that was my cat knocking into my camera. Um, but I didn't like the way it looked up against the edge. So I went ahead and pushed it down a little bit because I wanted to catch that white portion of the plaid to be centralized in the lines coming out from my photo. And it's not a big thing, but it was big enough that it made me notice and made me second guess whether I wanted to use that paper. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm also going to mat this other photo. Oh, and that was Thankful Flowers, the one with the plaid. And then the other one I'm using is Fall Owls, but I'm using the B side of that, this cream with the orange and aqua leaves. And so I'm going to map this other photo, which is a picture of my nephew standing there. So this layout is actually about my nephew, and he's not actually my nephew, he's my best friend's son. I refer to him as my nephew. They had gone down to Long Island where my best friend was raised, and they went to help her mother clean up the yard before any snow or ice or any of that came. So my nephew had his own little rake and they were raking up the leaves, and my best friend took photos of all the flowering trees before they all went away for at the end of fall. This was at the, I want to say this was in September if I'm going by what my housemate was telling me. Oh yeah, so my best friend, I share a house with her and her son, for those of you who are new here. I have this copper, very small washi tape, and I'm just running that alongside that brown and cream plaid just to add a little bit more interest. And I'm just lining it up and tucking it underneath that floral piece. And then once that is done, I just use a mix of ATG and liquid glue to glue down the sides. I did that over on the right hand side. I didn't do it on the left hand side, and honestly, it didn't make a difference, so I don't know why I did it in the first place. So now that I've got everything matted and all of my background in place, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing things down and placing different photos and 3x4 cards from the 3x4 card journaling piece of paper. That's what it's called. It's called 3x4 journaling cards. That's the name of the pattern paper. So I have this Hello to Fall with a little birdie, and then I've got the sweater weather on the plaid, and then I've got that plaid that matches the one over on the left-hand side that I'm gluing down right now with the owls. And that's where my journaling is going to go. So I'm gluing down my photos and I'm thinking about what I want my title to be. I have an idea because I know what the story is, but I'm, thinking, I'd like to see if there's a sticker. The sticker, the 12 by 12 element sticker sheet was included in the kit. And I wanted to see if there was something from there I could use for part of my title. And you may see at the top of the screen some shadows and a little ear poking in. That is my cat. She is supervising this particular layout. So while I'm doing that, it finally dawns on me, I want to bring in these wood grain thickers. I recently picked these up when I was at a crop, so I bought these in Minnesota, and they are wood grain chipboard over foam, which is my favorite kind. You do just have to be careful when you're picking them up that you don't bend them because that will crease the chipboard. So I do find this word autumn, and I like it especially because I can cover up that purple. It's the only that shade of purple. There is more of a plummy purple on one of the trees, but that lavender purple, that was the only one there. So my entire title is going to be Autumn Cleanup. It is a little hard to read on the video. I promise in real life the word cleanup is perfectly legible. So here's where I decide. Well, since I've got quite a few little critters on the 3x4 cards, and I'm talking about a yard, and yards are known to have little critters around them. I think, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and pull every critter off this sticker sheet. So I've got the fox and the bird and the squirrel and the owl and the raccoon, because I'm really probably not going to ever have another layout for these animals, so I might as well go ahead and use them. So from the upgrade embellishment kit, I pull in a couple of those butterflies that are layered, as well as the birds that are layered as well. I thought that was a really nice way to bring in. My housemate's mother, always has critters in her yard. She puts out bird feeders, so she's got birds and butterflies, and she plants flowers that are good for bees. So, or she did. She recently moved into an assisted facility area building. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. But so having all of these animals in her yard brought her joy. So she actually planted things that would bring the animals to her yard. I'm finishing off this layout. I added several of the embossed butterflies that came in the upgraded kit. And then from my stash, I pull out these. They're either Simple Stories or Echo Park paper. I don't remember which. They're actually from a winter collection, but the colors went perfectly, and I just add those to all of my embellishment areas. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you have any questions, once again, just drop a comment below. All of the info is in the description box, and hopefully you head on over to Scrapbook Store's Facebook page or their blog and check out all the other design team members' work. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye!